Hello there friends, and we're back for a walk, and today I'm going to be discussing Keir Starmer. Is he good or a bad Prime Minister, in my opinion? And I'm actually going to start off with the bad, but I'm going to try and give it a very rounded point of view, the good and the bad. It's very easy just to sort of hammer someone, but I'm going to try and give as best of a general perspective as I can. And the bad, well, there's quite a bit of that, to be fair. I don't think he's got the most charismatic personality in the world. He's definitely a very vanilla, which I suppose has good and bad elements to it. But yeah, he's not going to set the world alight, and his policies definitely not setting the world alight either. I mean, he was talking pro-business, business to get in, and I liked what he was saying. I thought, wow, yeah, okay, Labour, but this guy's pro-business. He's not, extremely left like Jeremy Corbyn was, and basically we was going to have like some sort of communist dictator if he was in charge. So yeah, I thought, wow. But when the reality kicks in, it has been anything but pro-business, in my opinion. It's been very anti-business. Let's put as much friction in there as possible, and let's just do what Labour normally do, which is spend more and tax people more. No great ideas coming through, no innovation, or right, we're going to go in this field now, we're going to go in that field now, which is pretty much what they were talking about when they were going to get in, that they were going to innovate and do some crazy stuff to get the country moving again, get the economy back, which sounded pretty good. And obviously a lot of people were buying into this and thinking, yeah, these guys maybe are pretty good, and the Conservatives weren't doing a great job. It was definitely, theirs to lose, and he got in with an absolute landslide. But the reality has been pretty different, in my opinion. Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, no good. I mean, I don't think she has any type of previous actual business experience, but she's run her own company, which I think is a prerequisite if you were going to be in charge of, the UK economy. But you should have at least run a few businesses and been successful running them as well, in my opinion, not just learnt everything on paper. And that goes with all politicians in general. I think, just getting a politician that goes through university and comes straight out and is a career politician, I just think that's a bad idea. Surely you need someone with some life experience. They've gone out there in the world, they understand the plights of, the normal common man and woman. Because how can you really help that person if you don't really understand what they're going through? You haven't had any proper job yourself, you've never run any businesses yourself. So yeah, I disagree with that completely in general. But Keir, yeah, he's not won me over, to be honest with you. It was a load of talk, and then there was this black hole they apparently didn't know about, which was like the biggest lie anyone could have told. It was an absolute blatant lie, and that's why they have to put up taxes. Come on, they've got all the records for that. She's a shadow chancellor. She can see all that, but they just use that as an excuse to blame the other side, and it just really annoys me. And this is all politicians do. This isn't just Labour. I just hate that, just trying to score points on each other and just not just being honest and going, actually no, we have got to tax more, but they just can't admit it themselves that we were just lying basically. I have to just sort of skirt around it and try and blame someone else. It's just a very bold and blatant lie, in my opinion, and yeah, do not like that. So Keir Starmer, he's not setting the world alight, he's not an innovator, he's not taking any risks to try and get the UK back to being great again. He's very happy with it just having a slow decline down, and don't like that. We need someone to innovate, we need someone to push on and try and get Great Britain really great again, because we've got great minds here. We have good education, so we should be getting some great stuff coming through. We definitely should be helping out our entrepreneurs so much more than we do, rather than just punishing them. It's proven, like when you start taxing people into oblivion, you actually get in less taxes, because it makes people less incentivised to go and take all the crazy risks it takes to become an entrepreneur, because the failure rate is so high. And the ones that are doing well, they leave to where they're better treated. So even though in theory, oh yeah, we're taxing X amount more, you're actually getting less. I just don't know why, they don't look at things like this. It just really, really annoys me, because if the common man can know it, surely they can, but it just goes with the sort of more those Marxist ideas. And yeah, I think it's tripping our country up, to be honest with you. And I just don't like those point of views. So yeah, Keir isn't winning me over. I am disappointed. I hate it when they brought in a rule on the Monday, and then that was implemented on the Thursday. This is a property one that actually sort of hit me and my business partner, and it was a stamp duty one, and it was just like bang, 12 extra grand we had to find. It come out of nowhere, and that was just disgusting, I thought. And obviously this was like a personal slight. You could say if you the landlords, but that would have hit everyone else as well who are not landlords, and a lot of deals would have fallen over as a result of that. And I think that's a real shame, to be fair. So yeah, I didn't like that at all. It definitely left a sour taste in my mouth for both Keir and Rachel. But if I have to be sort of, saying the good and the bad, what do I like about Keir Starmer? Well, I actually quite like his name. He's got a very unusual name, and so that is a good thing, I suppose. Better to have a good name than a bad name. And I suppose he is vanilla, so he isn't doing crazy sort of things. Not going to be doing anything good. He's happy with the slow decline down, but at least it's a slow decline, I suppose I could say, as a positive. And in another way, as much as politicians get absolutely a hard time of it, I can respect anyone who is a politician, to be honest, because if you sign up for that, pretty much half the population are going to absolutely hate you. And I think that takes a certain level of confidence and resilience to do it. And a lot of people don't have that, and I can respect that. And I'm sure a lot of them do go in with, the idea of trying to do good. I like to think so anyway. And I know it doesn't always end up like that, then sort of, corruption gets in there, and then they get their own agenda, and then it is literally like their money, their work. They are a career politician. It is their career. But I like to think they at least start with the right idea, and coming from a nicer point of view of trying to help out their country. And I hope Keir did the same. So that's another good thing. Another good thing, he's not Jeremy Corbyn. He would have been an absolute bloody nightmare. Crush, it was about as much of a lefty communist as you could get, in my opinion. And he would have been horrendous for the UK economy. It would have been tax. And yeah, we've got nothing left, and we've sort of given away all the money. We've taxed everyone to oblivion. Anyone that could has buggered off. So it's not been as bad as it would have been if he got in. So I suppose that's another good thing. Not a resounding, overwhelming thumbs up there, but at least he's not Jeremy Corbyn. And what else do I like? I like the fact that I can speak like this on a channel and basically sort of slag off the Prime Minister, and I don't get arrested. This is something worth fighting and dying for, is being able to speak your mind. Even if it is with the leader of our country, and say, yeah, I don't like what you're doing, I think you're an idiot, this, that and the other, and nothing happens to you. In a lot of places in the world, this is definitely not possible. And we are very, very lucky and privileged to live in a country where you can talk bad about, the Prime Minister, the head of police, and, your bank accounts aren't frozen and taken away from you. And that's so important. It's a freedom of speech, to be able to speak your mind. Whether people agree with it or not, you should be able to speak your mind. As long as you're not sort of, promoting, trying to hurt people, you should be able to say whatever you want to say, in my opinion, whether it's controversial or not. And that hasn't changed yet, which is good. I know people have been arrested for putting their opinions on Facebook or Instagram, and I just can't disagree with that more. and they should be released immediately. How can you have people going and getting stabbed literally, and they're sort of slapped on the wrist, given community service, or told, I've got a drug problem, you've got to let it go, and someone puts an opinion up on Facebook and they get arrested for it. And this has happened multiple times. That is very, very dangerous territory, and I really hope that changes and there's rules brought in where you can say whatever the hell you want, whether you're offending people or not, it don't matter, as long as you're not promoting really hurting someone for no apparent reason. You can say whatever the hell you want to say. You definitely shouldn't be put into prisons for your own opinion, especially when we're not putting people in prison who are actually physically going out and causing harm to others. Absolute just madness to me, and that is political correctness gone just bonkers. So I really hope we get away from that. I hope the Labour government do something to stop that, because we need our freedom of speech, one of the most important things any society can have, in my opinion. So this is my balanced view of Keir Starmer. It's not a resounding thumbs up at all, quite the opposite. I think they're doing a terrible job, got in on a lie, but most politicians do, in fairness. And yeah, it's just they're very happy just to sort of ride it out, try not to cause too many ripples, and just keep their job is the vibe I'm getting. They're not trying to really change things around. We definitely need, with a future leader, someone that's going to really stir the pot, really going to get out there and try and make things happen for the UK. Encourage people to come here, encourage our best and brightest to stay in the UK, incentivise them, because we need those many jobs, etc., in the UK and not in other countries. That's my opinion. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.